Under your charter, the mayor can veto in two manners. He can veto an ordinance, no matter what's on the ordinance. He can veto a resolution, but not the entire resolution, just a portion that deals with budget item appropriation. So the question before the council today is, has the mayor exercised the power of veto in a lawful manner? That there's a dispute between the selection of the hearing officer, that provision of a resolution has been vetoed. You also have my agreement, the city attorney contract that's been vetoed. So those are the two things. In my opinion, if you look at the first one, in my opinion, the dispute between who the hearing officer may be, it is not my opinion that a court would reasonably believe that that is a budget appropriation, that is a budget item, that is a line item in your budget. And for that reason, it wouldn't fall within the budget procedure to go through the veto process. So it's an unauthorized use of the veto process. With respect to my contract, there's absolutely nothing in the charter that gives the mayor the ability to veto any agreement that the council as a quorum collectively approves, regardless of whose contract it is. So I think the question came to me in calling this meeting is, do we have to go through the veto process through two documents that we know facially from the wording of the charter are not authorized to be part of that process? And I think that's the question before you today.
So I would just like to ask this clarifying question for the public and the people that are watching at home. When the mayor issues a veto, the vote to override that veto cannot be taken until the next regular meeting. Our next regular meeting would be January 14th. However, if the veto itself is invalid, then the process for overriding the veto is unnecessary. We need take no vote to override a veto if the veto itself is not valid. And you are opining as the attorney for the city that neither of these vetoes are valid.
Exactly. It is my opinion that there is no authority under the charter to veto either of the two items that have been vetoed. That is my opinion.
I do have a procedural question. So to override a veto takes 5 votes. But we're not overriding a veto. We're just recognizing that the veto itself was invalid to begin with. So what is the test to void a veto that is invalid? Is it still 5 votes?
No, a majority of council can collectively come to a decision that you're not going to recognize the veto as compliant with the charter to initiate proceeding that veto through the normal process.
So I just want to be clear with the audience. This is not a vote to override a veto. This is just recognition that the veto was out of bounds to begin with.
That is my understanding of what you're doing, correct?
Yes.
Anyone else? Okay, say vote. All those in favor? Passes 5. You got 5.
I have one more question, because you know all of these special meetings, everything that we've been doing this month has been about an overreach of authority. You're saying that the mayor can only veto a budget appropriation and an ordinance. But in the past, the mayor has vetoed several resolutions. He vetoed our name change, which was a resolution, and then a vote of council. He vetoed our seal. Are any of those valid vetoes? I'm just asking. Are any of those vetoes valid?
So I was not the city attorney at that point. I have not looked at that documentation. I need to look further into it.
But if they're not budget appropriations or ordinances, they would not be a valid veto, is that correct?
If it's not an item of appropriation or an ordinance, it wouldn't be a valid veto.